DreAllDay.com.
DreAllDay.com. Let's talk about the most important skill you're going to need as an entrepreneur, and this is the most important high-level skill. It's the skill of communication. And here's what you got to understand about communication. The most important thing you do in business as a business person is you make sales. A business, any of you who's an entrepreneur or any level, any form of professional, as a matter of fact, you're in the sales business. You're in the money-making business, money-generating business. And usually to generate money, you have to sell something. If you work at McDonald's, you're selling your time and presence in exchange for that hourly check. If you're a lawyer, you're selling your knowledge of the law and your particular practice of the law and your ability to interpret it and win cases and write documents or whatever you're going to do for your clients. You're exchanging that for money. If you're an entrepreneur and you're an Instagram influencer, you're exchanging your influence and your brand status in exchange for money from brands or maybe even from your customers if you sell things. If you're an entrepreneur who does something like writing books, so you offer speaking, you're exchanging your intellectual property for money. All of us are exchanging something for money in all forms of in the professional world. But understand, even though I told you, as I said, sales is the most important thing you do. How do you sell? You can't sell something without communicating. So sales is simply a sub-skill of communication. If you suck at communication, you will not be very good at selling. Because to sell, you must have solid communication skills. Whether those communication skills are verbal, like I'm talking to you right now, written, writing things down on a piece of paper, and also the other way that I say it is communicating to a group, mass communication. So that's when you're talking to more than one person at the same time. So right now I'm doing verbal and mass communication because it's more than one person who's going to see this video. 2 people watch it, then that's mass communication. Or if you talk to 2 people at the same time, that's mass communication. So you got to be able to talk one-to-one and one-to-many. Also verbal and written communication. And these are all skills that can be learned. But communication is a big thing, not just for your ability to sell, but just for your ability to succeed in life in general and business. So I was just at a conference this past week, and one of the things that I do at conferences personally, especially when it's a big conference with a lot of people, like thousands of people there, a lot of times I'll just go out into the main area, like where people hang out, or like where people gotta walk by and stuff in between sessions and things like that. Not just hang out, like in the hallways and stuff like that, or in the lobby of the hotels. Anywhere there's gonna be where everybody gotta walk by and things like that, and I'll just hang out in those areas. And eventually what happens is people will come up to me. Somebody might recognize me from the internet or something like that. I might see somebody I know. Somebody might compliment my shoes or something like that. And I'll just strike up conversations with people. But the thing is, the only way I'm able to do that is because I have solid communication skills. Like, I am comfortable striking up a conversation with a stranger. I'm comfortable small talking with somebody who I just met and don't know. I'm comfortable just asking people questions and just learning about who they are and what they're about. Because most of the time people just want to talk about themselves when you go to conferences and things like that. That's all because of my communication skill. You understand that communication, everybody, is not just speaking. Communication is not just you sharing what you have to say to another person. Communication is also your ability to listen. Listening is part of communication. Listening to what's not being said is communication. Non-verbals are communication. All of that is communication. So when I'm at a conference and I'm standing in the hallway by myself and people are walking by and I'm just comfortable standing there and people are willing to walk up to me, one of the reasons they're willing to walk up to me and talk to me is because I'm communicating openness. I'm communicating that I'm friendly. Like, I make eye contact with people. I smile at people. Somebody walks by and they give me a head nod, I give my head nod back. I say, hey, how you doing? Even if they don't stop. Hey, how you doing? Good morning. I'm communicating to them that I'm open to a conversation. That's part of communication. And if you don't have that skill, then you could do something like this event that I was just at. There's thousands of people there. The tragedy is when people go to events like that and all they do is sit in the rooms, take notes on the speakers, then they leave and don't meet anybody, don't talk to anybody, don't mingle with anybody, don't make any new connections or build any new relationships. That's the reason why you go to events. I go to events for the people in the audience, not for the people on the stage. A lot of times the people on the stage, they might be saying something that I've heard before. You've been to enough events, you heard most of what people can say. I mean, sometimes people can be entertaining and they might have they might strike a good emotional chord with what they talk about, but most of that stuff you're gonna forget. Most of what you hear from the stage, from a speaker, you forget within like a week. Most of what they said, how you felt when they were talking, you forget most of that stuff. But the people who you meet, that's where you build relationships. That's where you can maybe build new connections. You might be able to put together a partnership, some kind of joint venture, business deal, is the people in the room. But if you're not willing to talk to people, or you don't have the communication skills to just strike up a conversation with a stranger, or you're skittish about talking to people who you don't know, and then how you going to do it? I wouldn't even say you wasted your time, but you did not take maximum advantage of your time and opportunity at an event. You're not talking to the people who are in the room. That's the way that I'll say it. And that's why communication skills matter so much. Another episode of my masterclass, some of you may call a podcast, that I talked about this, the 3 communication modes that you must master: one-to-one, one-to-many, and verbal, written, and then one-to-many. Those are or we could even say 4. You add one-to-one and one-to-many to make those 2. But you must master those modes of communication, because that's how you get your point across and you establish who you are with other people. If you can't do that, then you won't be able to build connections with anybody, anywhere. So if you want some help with that, go to workonyourgame.net. You can get into my free training. That's where I share with you the strategies and the systems that I use to help business professionals, people like yourself, get to the 6-figure level. And if you're at the 6-figure level and you know you need strategies and systems to get to the 7-figure level, I have a program for that as well. So go to workonyourgame.net, watch my free training. At the end of that training, you can schedule a call with me. There'll be a link to schedule a call with me. We'll get on Zoom. We'll talk about what we need to talk about. Again, that link is down below. Also, text me at my text number, which is 305-384-6894. Get my free motivation text when I send it out. Usually it's daily. And that link is down below as well. Work on your game. Dre all day.